June 28, 1914 was the date of a shocking event that many had not anticipated, but one country had been waiting for, the spark that ignited a fuse. Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by Gavrilo Princip, a nationalist Bosnian Slav. Despite all warnings, Ferdinand, who sympathized with the Slavs and wanted to maintain his image as a man of the people, left the mansion he was taken to after the first failed assassination attempt to visit the wounded. He decided to take the quieter Apple Quay instead of the crowded square. However, this information was not relayed to the drivers. Seeing the first two cars of the convoy turn the wrong way, Governor Oskar Potiorek ordered the car to stop. But he would soon realize this was a huge mistake. The cars at that time had no reverse gear and had stopped right in front of Gavrilo Princip, who had been looking for a suitable spot after the first failed attempt. Princip seized the opportunity and first shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand, then the Duchess, while attempting to shoot the governor. The Duchess died on the spot, and the Archduke passed away in the mansion he was taken to. So how did this process, which would plunge the world into great chaos, begin? Let's explore this together. Before diving into the process, let's look at the countries that had agreed to act together. In 1914, the Triple Entente consisted of Russia, the United Kingdom, and France, while the Triple Alliance was made up of Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. First, let's look at the events leading up to the war and how the countries reached this point, starting with the main actor, Germany. Germany was a country based on a military system dating back to the Franco-Prussian War. Despite Britain's intense exploitation system, Germany did not have such power, and Britain's complete dominance at sea left Germany in a difficult position. Additionally, being surrounded by two powerful allied countries, France in the west and Russia in the east, made Germany feel encircled. To break this situation, Germany decided to turn to the Middle East in the early 20th century. They planned a railway project connecting Berlin to Baghdad and sought closer ties with the Ottoman Empire. Particularly eyeing the oil fields in the Middle East, Germany's moves alarmed Britain and France. Germany also spent heavily to build a navy that could compete with the British fleet. During the so-called Dreadnought race, Germany and England competed to produce the Dreadnought battleships, the most powerful warships of the time, in the early 20th century. At the beginning of the 1900s, Russia, with a population of about 160 million, had a larger population than the combined Entente and Central Powers. Russia's disadvantage was that its army was not as modernly equipped as Western countries, and it lacked a sufficient railway network. Known for its historical attempts to reach warm waters, Russia set its sights on the Ottoman Empire, referred to as the Sick Man. Over the years, Britain and France, who did not want Russia to achieve this goal, sided with the Ottomans against these two giants. Russia occasionally fought with Japan to its east, with Japan destroying the Russian fleet. After these events, Russia first decided to modernize its army and later accelerated the transportation of its army with the rail network it established. Russia began the war with 5 million soldiers and eventually increased this number to 15 million. France and Russia, who decided to act jointly against Germany, signed a partnership agreement in 1894. The fact that these two countries, who were eternal enemies and had very different political regimes, decided to act together is quite interesting. While France was setting an example with its democratic movements, Russia was ruled by an absolute monarchy. Tsar Nicholas II of Russia also gained a serious ally in his goal of reaching warm waters. Before the war, France, which had a significant number of colonies, was ranked first in the world in aircraft technology. It was the first country to use bombers and reconnaissance aircraft. Thanks to Napoleon, the French were also very advanced in artillery technology. Having suffered a defeat against Germany in the Alsace-Lorraine region in 1871, France wanted to avenge this. In this war, the region, including important cities such as Strasbourg, Metz and Nancy, fell into German hands. Additionally, this region had rich iron deposits, the main material for the war industry. France wanted to reclaim these regions. The Battle of Verdun in 1916 also took place in this region. France had established extensive railway lines along its borders with Belgium and Germany based on lessons learned from previous wars. Initially entering the war with approximately 4 million people, France later increased this number to about 9 million. The UK, the main actor in the treaty that confirmed Belgium's neutrality in 1830, was the biggest obstacle to Germany attacking France through Belgium. Known as the empire on which the sun never sets, Great Britain had a significant impact on the world at that time. With its large colonial power, it had soldiers on almost all continents. At the start of the war, it had about 90 million soldiers, including those in different countries. An interesting anecdote: goat farms were established in Britain to feed Indian soldiers brought to fight on the Belgian front. The UK had more warships than the combined total of all the countries entering the war. Using the advantage of being an island nation, the UK had neither the need nor the intention to enter the war. The UK only committed to going to war against any country that invaded Belgium, which would act as a buffer against any move against itself. Because of its rule over such a vast territory and bringing them into the war, this conflict came to be known as the World War. Austria-Hungary, another actor in the war, had its eyes on the lost Balkan territories of the Ottoman Empire. Despite the expected start of the war in the west, due to the severe confrontations, the war began in the east. Austria-Hungary, which included different countries, had the worst equipped army in the war. Entering the war with approximately 2 million soldiers, Austria-Hungary eventually increased this number to 8 million. Due to its harsh and destructive policy towards the Balkan countries, especially in constant conflict with Serbia, Austria-Hungary had only one heir, Franz Ferdinand. Known for his unconventional behavior, Ferdinand married a woman named Sophie, who was not of noble birth, leading to efforts within the palace to revoke his inheritance rights. He was not allowed to ride in the same vehicle with his wife during special ceremonies. Deciding to visit Bosnia, Franz Ferdinand wanted to show off in this newly annexed territory. The nationalist Serb group Black Hand, upon hearing about this trip, saw an opportunity. This group's goal was to unite all southern Slavic groups and create a Yugoslavian empire. The word Yugoslavia means Southern Slavs. The Black Hand organization planned and executed an assassination on Ferdinand, leading to the fateful event. Holding Serbia responsible for all these events, Austria-Hungary invaded Serbia on July 27, 1914. With Russia supporting Serbia, Austria's ally Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st and on France on August 3rd. The first move was Germany's attack on Belgium to invade France. Following this move, the United Kingdom declared war on Germany on August 4th. With these declarations, the German-French, German-Russian and Austro-Serbian fronts opened, and World War I had begun.